The sun sets over a broad meadow. Title: Life Before and After the Encampment. Narrated by Laura Linney.
For thousands of years, this fertile land was home to American Indians. They were drawn to the area by the abundance of food and resources in the river valley.
Flying low over a calm river.
When Europeans arrived in the 17th century, they gradually displaced the Lenape, known today as the Delaware tribe.
Painting of Lenape Man.
Local landowners built prosperous, highly cultivated farms, using the rich soils to provide goods for sale in Philadelphia.
Historic painting of a farm with cattle, horses, and pigs.
Along Valley Creek, an ironworks was established, named Valley Forge.
Illustration of a historic stone building with a water wheel.
The first Continental soldiers marching into Valley Forge entered a landscape of quiet farm fields, pastures, and woodlands.
Continental soldiers marching.
But with the arrival of Washington's army, farmers and residents soon found themselves on the front lines of a global war. Their lives were upended and their land ravaged by the sudden presence of nearly 12,000 soldiers and camp followers.
African American soldiers build fortifications.
Fields were trampled and polluted with hundreds of tons of human and animal waste. Hillsides in all directions were clear-cut to provide firewood for heating and cooking, as well as timber for constructing huts. Soldiers purchased food supplies, but in other cases, supplies and livestock were confiscated or stolen.
A farmer sells produce to British soldiers.
Having suffered at the hands of both Continental and British forces, local residents maintained divided loyalties. Some farmers continued to sell goods to the British. They could trust the value of the British pound versus the potentially worthless Continental scrip.
The farmer and British soldiers shake hands. Then many Continental soldiers march in formation.
When the encampment ended, landowners attempted to rebuild their lives and restore their livelihoods. Yet it would take years for the land to recover.
George Washington talks with a farmer.
General Washington returned to Valley Forge 10 years later, in 1787. He was pleased to see that the former encampment was now almost invisible and the land restored to agriculture. Over the next century, peace returned to the land, the labors of soldiers replaced by agriculture and industry. It would take many years before the nation would seek to preserve its past at Valley Forge.
A sky glows orange as the sun sets behind fields of hay bales. Text appears: Valley Forge National Historical Park.